IRSPSD is an open access, so we can get a wider audience. It hosts in This Stage. So This Stage is a publisher in Japan. And the second is there is no article publication charge, so it's free of charge. So we don't have to pay a lot of money for our paper to be published, and we got that how to say open access. So sometimes many of open access international journal will cost us article publication charge. So here we don't have, you don't have to pay for that. The third is IRSPSD is a good journal. So we can see here it is indexed from the biggest indexed for journal. So like in ASCI Web of Science and from Scopus and many others indexed. And our journal is have a quartile 2.3, 2021 is 2.0. The ranking in the Asian, our journal is ranked 3 for urban studies. And the next question is when IRSPSD International published. So it is mainly talk about the publication and publication schedule and manuscript cycle. So when the publishing schedule, we will publish the paper on time on every 15th calendar in January, April, July, and October. Here is the manuscript cycle. So after you submitted your manuscript, you will choose a suitable section which is suitable for your article, like main section, section A, B, C, and D. And also after that, the admin for our journal will check your paper. So the first is to check is your, how to say, whether your paper is within our journal scope. And after that, if it is suitable for our journal, we will check the similarity of your manuscript. Usually, is how to say, suitable. It is according to how to say publication for scientific paper. And after this, if it is all okay, then the, how to say, chief editor will appointed associate editor and it's according to which section your paper will belong. And after that, the associate editor will appoint the reviewer. So here, there is a minimal reviewer we will assign for your manuscript. So it will be 2 or 3 reviewers. Sometimes we will ask for more reviewers if there is some kind of how to say contradiction in your results. So one reviewer will say that, oh, this paper is very good, it could be accepted, and another one will say, it's not good enough, it should be rejected. And the other, oh, this should be a major revision. Maybe we will appoint another reviewer to judge your manuscript. After that, the paper will be if we already receive the required number of reviewer, and the associate editor will decide whether your paper will be accepted for publication or should be revised or will be directly rejected, something like that. Or sometimes if we very interested in your discussion, and then we will ask you to resubmit in the for after you revise. So it rejected, but we will ask you to resubmit it in a proper form and with a better discussion about that. And this is the manuscript cycle of your paper. So after your paper is accepted, so paper is accepted is when the reviewer recommend your manuscript for publication, or the editor assess your manuscript is qualified for publication after the revised paper is sent. Sometimes if your paper is very good, is exceptionally good, and then you will after the first submission, then you will be accepted, but it's really rare we see something like that. So it might be you send your manuscript and then you have to revise once, twice, or third times, and then we can accept your paper. And after the paper is accepted, we will send that to the English script is based on British English, is English British paper, then you better write it in a British style. And after that, there is after we receive the English proofreading. In this English proofreading, we have an English editor. So her name is Tracy Taylor. And if your paper is not required too many correction for the English language, and and you will not charge of the English proofreading charge. If it is too many, your written English is bad enough, and then maybe the English proofreading will charge you like $200 US, something like that. And after that, we will receive the editorial member will receive the result of English proofreading, and we will done format proof checking according whether it's according to IRSPSD latest template, like style, figures, table, and citation, and many information about the authors and the project they're right. After that, we will we have a editorial meeting like twice for each of the publication cycle, and we will decide in that meeting, we will decide which paper to be published in the next issue or the next issue. So each published paper for each section, like main section, section A, B, C, and D, it will include minimal 3 papers and maximal 8 papers. So sometimes 5 papers will be published in each section. And if we have papers from the after conference publication, and then we will assign that as a special issue, or it will be assigned as a regular submission. About the next question is, who are the involved parties in this international journal? So here it's like I draw a pyramid. So the top leader is our editor-in-chief. So it's Professor Sun Jiangsen. And then we have like executive editors. Sorry, here is Dr. Yinglong, Dr. Yama, me, myself, and also Dr. Cheng from Manchester University. So after that, we have an associate editor member. Usually, the executive editor will act as associate editor. Plus, there is another associate editor, which is not included in executive editor. And here we have the secretary. So for the secretary for section A and the Dr. Yama will be Miss Jing Jing, so our host, and then Miss Miftahul Haira from section C, and Mr. Jin Yun Tan for section D, and Mr. Sandaru Nisan Sala for main section. And we have publishing editor, Mr. Yun Feng Lee, is from Singapore. And our English proofread editor, Mr. Tracy, is from Australia. So here, our executive editor plus our editor-in-chief, Professor Chen Jiangsen. So Mr. Yama for section A, me myself for section B and C, Dr. Yinglong is for section D, and Dr. Cheng is for main section. So maybe if we have another has collaboration with another university, then it will be belong for section B. But before we didn't have the collaboration, so I will take the part for executive edit for section B and C. And the last question is how to submit to IRSPSD International. So here, for submitting your paper to IRSPSD section C, so you can access our website in www.spsdpress.org for manuscript submission. In this web page, you will see the template of our journal. So you have to download that and follow use of write in that template. So the paper will be published, the paper we will consider is not have been published or under consideration in another journal. And also, we will check the similarity, it's no more than 30%. And the number of words contained in your manuscript should be at least 5,000 and maximum 8,000 words, except for like a literature review manuscript. And it is no more than 18 pages. So after you submit your manuscript will be double-blind review process. So the author and the reviewer will not know each other. So your manuscript should be exclude a detail, every detail about the author. So the author did fill in your detail, all the author's detail in the submission system, like in mc.manuscriptcentral.com/IRSPSD. Here you will submit that, but in your paper, for it to be double-blind review process, no author's detail are allowed. Sometimes when we got your paper and there is still author's detail in your paper and we will reject that paper, or sometimes we just delete it, something like that, before we submit to the reviewer. And after that, your paper should be use a reference manager, whether it's something like that. And please do an English proofreading. And after you send your paper for English proofreading, please provide the certificate of your English proofreading, so we can know, oh, this paper is already proofread. But some papers we receive the English proofreading certificate, but when it passed through our English editor and the language is not still good enough, and then we still have to, edit your manuscript by our English editor. And if all your paper is already follow all of these IRSPSD template criteria and requirement, then you can submit the manuscript in the www.mc.manuscriptcentral.com/IRSPSD. So here we can see sorry. Sorry, there is a technical issue. Where? Can you tell me, are you seeing my screen now? Maybe
Yes.
changing.
Yes.
Okay. So yes, is the example of our template for our manuscript. So please be very careful when you follow our template. First, your manuscript title should be in here. If you are you have a subtitle, then you can you can write in the second line here. So just copy paste for the style, and then here is for the author's name. So first name and surname, not surname and then first name. So the you have to write the first name and then the surname and another author. So if you have different affiliation, then you might mark it with 1, 2, 3, or else. And then for the author's information, we need your school, your university, your faculty, or your department, or maybe you are from government, then you will write your government office here and your division, something like that. And please type in the like this Kanazawa University. Please type the information just in your university or your office. Do not write your like Indonesia. You don't have to write the nationality here, where you come from Indonesia or from. So please do not write that. If you write that, then the editor will just delete it, something like that. And please, now we have a new template, so all the author have to provide ORC ID, something like this. So your manuscript, if it is published, then it will be connected to your ORC ID. And here the keywords and abstract and so on. So you just have to follow the template that we provide in our home page. Is our home page for IRSPSD International. So here, how to submit to IRSPSD. So you have to register first, and then there is a display like this, and just click on the author, and you might submit or begin your submission. So there is some form you have to fill, and then you can choose which section you want to submit. If you are on your manuscript is an after conference publication, then just check this. And if you want for planning strategy, your publication, your manuscript is discuss about a planning strategies and design concept, just checklist this. And if it is mainly focusing on analysis and simulation, just check section B. And if your manuscript is talking about planning and design, so it's implementation, then you will check section C. And for if there is an assessment, planning and design assessment, you can just check section D. So our section is based on the cycle of planning. So there is the first is we have a planning strategies and design concept. After that, it will be analyzed, and then how to implement that. And after the project is implemented, then how we will discuss about the assessment, whether it's suitable or it's successful or not, something like that. So thank you. This is the end of my presentation. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you for Puteri's lecture about the information about IRSPSD International. I believe all of you should have a clear understanding about our journal, our structure, organization, and the process of submitting a paper to us. So if anyone have a problem about submitting or more about our journal, you can text your problem to us just in the chatting box. Do you have problem here? And here I think I have one question for Puteri. As the author, do you have any suggestions for an author if they want to submit to our journal?
Okay, a good question. So sometimes we receive the paper. It's not actually suitable for our journal, but it have um, like potential to be accepted to our journal, and I will advise that like maybe the author should read carefully about our aim, and then their discussion, where you could put your discussion in the spatial planning and sustainable development. So that discussion, that project you you are doing, then how you get that to be to become more beneficial for spatial planning and sustainable development, something like that. And I sometimes also find that there is a good paper. I'm very it's a pity for to reject that paper, but sometimes the paper, maybe the authors didn't read carefully about our regulation in our journal. They didn't follow our template, and and with we are very hard, and we have to reject that kind of paper. Maybe we will give some note. So please follow the template carefully, because if you follow the template carefully, and then you will pass all the administrative regulation for our journal, and then it's become the reviewer job um, to assess whether their publication is good enough or suitable in our journal, or a high enough discussion to be discussed in the international readership, something like that.
Okay, thanks for Puteri to give such useful suggestions for the author. I think for authors or for the people who want to submit to our journal, they should have know more about what they should pay attention to, so it can avoid time wasting and effort wasting. So thank you again for Puteri and your today's lecture. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Ms. Gigi, for hosting me.
As you see here.
Okay, I think the next I'm going to give my lecture about. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. Here is today's my lecture about